Okay, it's 101 and people are coming in. Welcome everybody.
Hi, people.
Ooh. Yep. Okay. Well,
Here's my ketchup. Hi, Jaren. Ooh, a Jaren. I've only known one Jaren, and it's
yeah.
Jaren Campanella, the flat earther.
So from what I've learned, all Jarens are flat earthers. Tell me if I'm wrong, other Jaren. Oh wow. Yes, I get his results in my history, says other Jaren.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I believe it. I believe it.
Um,
Actually, here, I'm going to text him right now and tell him I've met another Jaren.
yeah, this is important. You should know that. I am not a flat earther, and I came before him in major Google. Tell him I said hi too. Nice.
Okay.
Hey, welcome, folks. All right, people joining in. All right, so we were originally going to be together in the same place, but I just had a close friend who tested positive for COVID. I'm not feeling great.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
I got a negative test this morning, but trying to be safe.
Yeah. No, it's smart. Although, I was telling you earlier, I was 20% tempted to go over there because I still have ivermectin sitting around my apartment.
Yeah.
Waiting to be used.
Gary bought a dewormer for us to use if one of us got COVID. Really, if one of us gets it, we've got so much stuff we need to try out.
Oh my God, really? Yeah. Corpse Reviver.
Yeah.
My good friend Natalie, who you know, apparently did take ivermectin when she had COVID and is under the impression that it helped her. So
it did
she was
go
like, yeah,
in like 7 days.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and she was like, yeah, Carrie, do it. Like you'll feel so much better. And I was like, well, Natalie, we're in agreement. If I get COVID, I'm taking ivermectin. This is our place of unity on this issue. So great. If I get COVID, that's what I'll do.
I was reading the chat and like people were saying hi, and I started like waving at the camera as if this was somehow coordinated. Well, hello to everybody who's been saying hello. Lovely messages. Okay, so since we have to eat these bottles of condiments, this is something that none of you asked for, but you're getting. Charles, our friend Charles, who we talked about in our what was that? The Rage Room episode. Yeah, Charles is here, so he was just pointing at this, like, is that for him if he vomits? Yes, this is my puke bucket. That's my amigo. Very good, Sue.
Here's mine.
Carrie's ready with a mixing bowl.
It's the color of puke.
So yes, nobody asked for this, and Carrie regrets coming up with it, but we are going to eat our respective condiments. Pardon me, Carrie, do you have any ketchup?
I do. I have some True Made Foods veggie ketchup. Now I chose True Made's. It's not as good as like a Heinz.
Okay.
But it doesn't have added sugar and it's got a little less salt. And when you're eating 17 ounces, I thought maybe that starts to matter.
Fair. Yeah, I know smaller bottles of this exist, but this is what my wife, Cara, picked up. Feel free to say hi to the people.
Only one they had.
She says it's the only one they had. No, that's fine. We got to make this hurt. So here we go. This is 16 ounces of Grey Poupon.
The women in your life really fucked you on this one, Bloch.
Yeah, that's right. It was your idea. Cara picked up the big one. Oh, goodness.
Okay, I'm opening.
So I'm not a fan of mustard. I used to like actively avoid it. But now I just, like if there was some Grey Poupon on some food, I would eat it. I wouldn't be happy about it. But yeah, when I went to grab a spoon, like in the closest drawer, we have the really big spoons, and I had like a gag reflex. And it's like, all right, let's at least pick a small spoon. So there we go. It's Grey Poupon.
So you can eat it slower.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a similar reaction. So I like ketchup. We felt that maybe having to eat a jar of ketchup, which is, sizably bigger than a jar of mustard, having to eat a whole thing though of something you like, 17 ounces of something you like might equal 8 ounces of something you hate. I don't know if the math works out there, but this even so, like I'm smelling it and it is a smell I like, and knowing that I'm going to eat this much of it, it's giving me like stomach turn.
Yeah, this can't be good, whatever happens. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All
What
right.
did-
So I think I'm going to pour mine in a bowl.
Oh, okay. What have you
And-
eaten so far today?
I had a little bit of oatmeal, coat the old stomach with something nice and plain, I figured. What about you?
Let's see. I had a one of those little packets of noodles, like the cheap ones that you heat up, the not cup of noodles, but the
Top ramen?
top ramen. Thank you. Yeah. And an orange or whatever, the clementine.
Yeah.
And a banana. So there you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got some acidic food in there already.
Cool. All right. So while we're doing this, we figured, we're chatting with everybody, and welcome. Great to have you here. If you want to ask any questions, I would say go ahead and put them in the Q&A interface, because that will be a little easier to pick questions out of there. Feel free to let us know if you want to remain anonymous, and if you'd be willing to come on camera. If you're interested in coming on camera, we might promote you to a panelist for a moment so you can do it. I already see a question in the chat. Why on earth are you doing this? But it's in the chat. I can't answer it because it's not in the Q&A.
Yeah, those are the rules.
No, this is a good question. I might as well.
Also, with the Q&A, better than raising your hand as well. When you raise your hand, it like gives us this huge hand in front of our face. Very distracting. That pretty good?
No, it's not. Oh man. Yeah, it's got like a little kicker to it. Like, is there a horseradish in there? Oh, thank you. You know what? I don't think this is cheating. Cara also got me some pretzels sticks.
Aw, that's nice. Yeah, I figured I'd try to go as long as I can with just the ketchup, but once things start to turn south, maybe I'll add something.
Charles, just so you can
Okay.
see my peanut gallery over here.
We're observing the
Hi,
twerk.
buddies. Okay, here's my first loving spoonful.
Oh,
Look at this.
that's big. Oh my goodness, that's a whole bowl.
Okay. That's what she said.
Yeah, I don't think that should have radish. They would normally tell you. if it's
Really?
horseradish.
Okay.
Oh no.
Feels like that kind of a fact.
Oh no.
Oh,
It would probably burn a bit.
Is
based
it how this is supposed to be enjoyed?
on the original Dijon, France recipe. Okay, distilled white vinegar, mustard seed, water, salt, white wine. Oh, white wine. That's where it gets fancy. Citric acid, tartaric acid, fruit, pectin, sugar, and spices. So no horseradish. That's just me being
Yeah,
dramatic.
there is horseradish mustard, but
Okay. Okay.
I even like this, and this is terrible.
Yeah. Gross. Okay.
Well, y'all, you get roughly an hour of this. How's everybody doing?
Yeah. How are you all?
Someone asked if Ella's in my lap. She is. You
Okay.
can see her a little bit, maybe.
Okay. We've got a question from Claire Hogan.
Okay.
Says, show and tell for Carrie, what's the weirdest item in the background of your Zoom right now?
Oh, okay. I mean, there's no way you'd see the shelf, but that shelf over there has all our doodads from our investigations. And probably the weirdest thing on it, Ross just gave me something new to put on it from the Ark. It's pretty great. I think the weirdest thing is probably that I just have a little wallet photo of Sri Harold Klemp from Eckankar. Just a headshot of him sitting there in the hopes that one day I'll dream about him, which still has not happened.
That's pretty great. Oh yeah, I've got also the scale model of the Ark. I think if you line up 660 of these, it equals one full-size Ark.
It was like 660.2 or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure it's not a full cubit. Yeah, I've got a little, I don't know, like curio or dresser of sorts that I got from a friend, and that has a lot of our investigation stuff on it. I don't know, can one of you grab the pendant from around the neck of the phrenology bust and the maybe the Scientology clear bracelet? I have a few implements here. Yeah, we all have fun stuff in our houses. I was just going through a bunch of earthing stuff yesterday that we need to have a live show so we can give some of this stuff away.
I did give one of our earthing items to our friend Jude.
Okay. And was she excited about it?
Well, she hadn't learned much about it. She made an impulse buy online from like an Instagram ad or something. So she already had gotten a couple things from them. And then she asked me about it, and I was like, oh, Ross and I investigated that on the show. And she said, oh no, is it all nonsense?
That's funny.
So I tried to give her the quick rundown. And then I was like, well, if you're buying stuff from them, at least take this free stuff instead of buying it directly.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. One thing that kind of inspired that investigation was that my friend Drew, very confusingly named because it's yet another Drew in this situation. He had bought a blanket, an earthing blanket, and he swore by it. He thought it was great, but he kind of knew, like, you're going to tell me it's nonsense, aren't you? Yeah, but I'm glad you like it. Okay, so thought I'd show this. Both of us got these amazing pendants from the Pyridine company. Pyridine. There we go. I can wear that for whatever it's worth. That'll help me with this mustard. Oh.
Yeah, maybe that will absorb some of the bad taste.
Oh, gross.
Ah!
Okay. Faith asked, should I have bought the 5G protection necklace I saw at Pride today? Oh, wow. So that's another thing to be aware of. Sometimes you buy these protection amulets, bracelets. It's very rare, but sometimes they actually have radioactive materials in them because they'll come from various other countries. And anyways, something to be aware of. And I bought us a Geiger counter so we can start testing some of these things just to make sure we're not buying something radioactive. So maybe best to skip, Faith.
Yeah, are those particular items at greater risk of that than other sort of low budget items from
that's a good
factories?
question. I have no comparison point there.
Yeah, because I remember I remember there being media coverage of that because it was such a delicious irony, but I don't know if the risk is actually greater,
Adrian asks, is that a phrenology head next to Ross? Yes, it is. So there you go. So many fun things collected. That's half the fun of doing this podcast is just getting all of these fun tchotchkes.
You get a bunch of weird shit.
Oh, Jaren has an interesting question here. Oh, and someone suggests I use a straw. Cara, can you try that?
It's got to be a big straw.
When else in my life will I get a chance to drink mustard through a straw?
But yeah.
Like,
Okay, Jaren, I have a response from our other Jaren. He said, spelled the same? How about this for crazy? Bob, the guy who hosts Globebusters, when we met, he told me his son's name was Jaren, but spelled different. But then a few years later, we were on the phone and I hear him yell, Jaren Michael, and that's my middle name.
Interesting. Yeah, spelled the same.
Telling him, oh no, the burping has begun.
Oh, someone said, is Vegemite next? Yeah, Vegemite. That's disgusting. Glad that didn't come up.
I can't remember if I actually had that or not.
I've been meaning to buy some again, so I'll make sure to hit you up when I do, because I want my son to try it out and be disgusted. Oh, Claire says, Ross, I was kidding about the straw. Well, I got to try it now. Thank you.
You can't pull that shit, Claire.
Oh, it's coming.
You ask Ross to do something, people do it. People do it.
Oh
my God.
Oh, that's really unsatisfying. Okay.
I'm so glad that the people are here who are enjoying it because, every time we do one of these bizarre stunts, we get a few messages that are like, can I just pay you not to do it? And I'm like, listen, if you haven't caught on 11 years in, that one thing we like to do is be delightedly uncomfortable. then you're listening to the wrong show here.
Yeah,
I'm glad some people get a kick out of this.
We have drunk our own pee, so yeah, that's what it is. Okay, so Jaren's question was, how do you deal with the psychic pain of dealing with the production of the podcast, especially on a long-term and ongoing basis?
Oh. Do you feel like there's psychic pain?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say psychic pain. It's just, it's a lot of work. We can definitely say that.
It's a lot of work.
One thing we'll do is we have this calendar. It's a Google, it's a Google Drive, Excel spreadsheet thing. And we collaborate on that with Maximum Fun, and they'll fill out the weeks and then the sponsors that we have. So whether it's, like Squarespace and HelloFresh or whatever it is for that week. And so when a new year comes up, Carrie will go in advance and she'll just block off some dates like, you know what, we should have a break around here and let's take this holiday off, which I really appreciate, because when those come, and I'm sorry we take a week off, it really helps us because it's a lot of work to get this podcast out every week.
It is. I suspect the person asking the question is picturing themselves just going in and doing all these things and like having to shut up at moments you don't want to shut up, and feeling the burden of not persuading everyone you want to persuade. I don't know. That's what I hear in the question. And I think when you actually do it, once you've done it a while, you also hear the voice of the audience in the back of your head as you're experiencing it. Yeah. And that really lightens the burden of the encounter, because you're like, well, this part of it might suck or whatever, but I'm going to get to tell the story. I'm going to get to like find a lesson in it. I'm going to get to share this with other people and like push back against any bad information. And I think that makes it all a lot more tolerable.
Every now and then I'll kind of catch myself, and I like it when this happens, where I realize, oh, I kind of forgot I'm doing this for the podcast, or I'm going to have to talk about this later. And I like that, because for me, it just feels like, cool, I'm just here and experiencing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Jaren may also be another podcaster, because anyone who podcasts gets it. Like, it's really hard to podcast. It takes a lot of work. I always, hats off to anybody who does that on a weekly basis or monthly basis. It's a lot.
It is, especially if you like, do something with as much reporting before the talking even begins as we do. Oh my God, Ross, this is so much condiment.
Yeah, who thought of this? Oh, hey, well, thank you for the question, Jaren. Hey, we have an announcement to make.
Oh yeah.
So another one of our stretch goals, and thank you to everybody who helped get us to I keep saying stretch goal, to our goals, our show goals for MaxFunDrive. Oh, you okay over there? And yeah, another one of our goals was the banjo announcement. So Carrie's going to learn to play a song on the banjo, and you all helped pick one.
Yeah.
I just burped.
I just want to remind us both that we did at one point say vomiting is a way out. So if you have to throw up, you're done.
True. And speaking of which, oh,
okay.
I feel like my tear ducts. Yeah, totally. Oh yeah, you're looking at how much I have left.
You still have a ways to go.
Oh yeah, I'm just getting started.
Okay, yeah, the banjo.
So, oh yeah, someone's asking, do I hate all mustard or just fancy type? No, I hate all mustard equally.
I like mustard.
Good.
Over here.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Pardon me. Would you like some Grey Poupon?
Cara, that is the biggest Grey Poupon I've ever seen.
Yeah, 16 ounces.
I've never found them that big.
Really?
Like, I always find the smaller ones.
I was picturing like the 8 or 10 ounce or something like that. I think it would have been worse had it had like the actual mustard. Oh, Cara's eating a little bit. Okay, just wanna...
Whoa! Cheating.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if that's legit
Mustard
or not.
etiquette.
She's my other half. Okay. Yeah, it would have been worse if it had the actual little mustard seeds in it.
Oh, that's
It doesn't have that.
Yeah, some of them, like the fancier mustards, will have like, you know, ground up
like the
original
brown
mustard seed.
yeah.
Okay, you already asked the question about that being Ella on your laptop. Okay, but
And
we
then I know Golly walks by at some point, my kitty.
Evening might get bold enough at some point. She's over there too. Evening. No, she wants none of that. I mean, that's one nice thing about Evening. She doesn't jump in front of my calls or hop on my keyboard. You okay over there? Oh no, you had too much. Okay, so I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna eat some more mustard, and I'm gonna let you tell everybody what they chose as a banjo song. If you're okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I believe the winner with 97 votes is We Stand Tall, the Scientology song. Woo!
We stand tall. There
I'm
were
very happy, yay. A second place was You'll Be Back from Hamilton, which is very funny because I can already play that on my banjo.
oh really? Oh, you would have been prepared. Be prepared. Yeah, well, they mentioned, you know, that would be good practice for you as King George.
Absolutely.
Okay, so yeah, We Stand Tall. Now, wait, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, oh yeah, sort by best. So on Reddit, I think the ones that have gotten the best upvote to downvote ratio are on the top, because the numbers seem a little inconsistent, but I'm guessing that's why we have the ordering. Sometimes a higher upvote number is below a lower upvote number.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we had some great suggestions. Rainbow Connection, of course, and a fantastic banjo song. I think someone said Dueling Banjos. Baby Got Back got really high up the list.
Classic. Yes, my baby's got a back. Yeah, you have a bad back.
Oh, that would have been fun. Carrie on My Wayward Son. The Me Channel Music. Does anyone know what that is? Me Channel. I guess a Nintendo thing, maybe? Or that's Wii.
That would be weird, yeah. It's older.
Oh, that's fun. Superstition by Stevie Wonder. That would be a fun one. I think a lot of people, I don't know this song, but I'm guessing it's one of like the super fast songs. It would just be like crazy finger picking hard. One of those is Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. I'm guessing it's probably just technically hard to play. Wonderwall by Oasis. A lot of people said the theme song to the podcast. Oh, this is fun. Tribute by Tenacious D.
Not familiar.
She Blinded Me with Science. Yeah, good.
Yep.
Everybody. So yeah, so now Carrie gets to, for the next, I don't know, few months of your life, become an expert on playing We Stand Tall.
Yeah, I wonder how long it'll take. That's a good question. Most of the songs that I've learned, I've just been so lazily learning with no particular, end goal in mind. So this will be interesting to see how long it actually takes. God.
Yeah, Charles is just pointing out, like, at some point, hopefully, I'll just become inured to it.
Okay. Come on. What are we doing?
Oh, I like this comment from Faith. The number of times I find myself singing We Stand Tall on an average day is mildly upsetting.
They need to stand taller. Oh my God, Ross, I don't even know if this is half done.
Oh yeah, I've made a dent in it, but there's still lots in here. Like, I'm not even
a ton of condiment.
Really, I'm wasting time by chatting.
Salsa too.
Carrie, please get some vegan chicken nuggets or something to eat it with. I mean, here's the thing. Here's what I keep thinking about. This isn't even like high sodium compared to other ketchups, but it's still double my sodium for the day. So I don't want to add like a French fry or something.
We got to go low, whatever it is. Like, I can't have any more vinegar today. So someone asked what I'm eating. These are pretzel sticks to Snyder's, no less, to help me cut the manage.
Cut the mustard. Help you cut the mustard.
thinking of that already, but just in case.
What's that, Carrie?
To help you cut the mustard.
Yeah, to pass mustard. Okay, I got you. Okay, let's look at some of this Q&A. Oh no, Carrie's holding her face in pain. Okay, what is
I'm
the
trying, like, I'm at the point where I start to throw up a little bit. I don't want people to see the throwing up and re-swallowing process.
sure? Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's essentially like chewing the cud.
Oh, I'll think of it like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
just preparing it for
helps.
your
Okay.
fourth stomach. Okay. Okay, so Hunter asks, what's the backstory for this? And hello from Colorado. Hello.
Hunter doesn't think this is self-explanatory. We're eating bowls of condiments.
It was Carrie's idea.
It's just classic Saturday fare. Okay, here's the backstory. Every year we do something called MaxFunDrive, which is a fund drive for our podcasting network. And we set these goals for achieving a certain number of new members. And so this year, if we got, I think it was around 1,000 new and upgrading Oda, Ross, and Carrie listeners who had become members of our network, we said I would eat an entire bottle/jar of ketchup, and Ross would eat an entire bottle/jar of mustard. And here we are. If you need more explanation than that, I don't have it.
That's the backstory. Okay, you have to specify if you want more. Okay. Cecile asked.
Oh, someone said I have nice hands.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
our hand model. Oh, I guess I could tell when you were covering your face in anguish.
Oh, right. Okay. I'll try to use them more. Like Gloria Swanson.
Or like that guy from Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh yeah. Different vibe.
Okay, Cecile asks, would you do live shows other places than the US? Would love to see you in Europe. We'd love to see you in Europe. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. If it were just about our eagerness, yeah. But it's also muddy questions and whatnot.
It might happen. All right. Geez, yeah, I'm really putting this off, but we're 28 minutes in. It's still disgusting.
Ontario, Canada. Love Toronto. Have you been to Toronto, Ross? No.
I would love to.
Toronto's cool. Yeah, Toronto's really cool. Yeah, I love our Canadian neighbors. Would totally go up there.
Stevie says Toronto's acceptable, but I vote for Vancouver. Yeah, I really hope to go to Vancouver at some point. That's
Vancouver's cool too.
For a long time.
When I was in my senior year of high school, I really thought I was going to go to college in Canada for a while.
Oh.
But it didn't. What a story. But I feel this like sort of spiritual connection to Canada as a result, almost as if I have lived there, which I definitely am not. I'm going to get more water.
Water's a good idea.
You want water?
Yeah, thanks.
You want cream?
Oh, that last bite was really punishing.
With mustard? Cream?
No, not cream, just water. Water's good.
Oh my God, that would be.
Oh man, I was really not happy with that last bite. Oh geez.
Sorry for not turning my audio off here.
Okay, so Randy,
Water.
here's a good question. Randy asks, how long do we estimate this will take? How long will the torture last? Our goal was to do this within an hour. We're halfway into that, and I'm not halfway into this jar, so I see problems.
You aren't? I think I might be halfway through my ketchup.
Oh, I'm not halfway. Oh, goodness. So there we go. So we were saying whatever takes longer, 1 hour or us getting through the jar.
Or don't forget there's a veto card if one of us barfs.
Okay.
Aw, everybody's saying hi to Ella. Wait, you say hi to everybody? Who are those people? Look at all those hearts. Those are for you.
Oh,
I don't even know. This is usually Ross's seat when we record.
That's true.
Oh. and Ella's always in my lap. I mean, always. Like I take about 15 minutes to play the banjo every day. And when I do that, she yells at me a few times during the 15 minutes to get back on my lap. But other than that and pooping and exercising, Ella is in my lap.
Oh,
Isn't that right?
I can hear evening eating food right now. Very, very nearby.
Mm.
Okay, here we go. Out of all, this is from Robert. Out of all condiments, what do you think would be the worst to have to do this with, and how would it compare to what you're currently experiencing?
Mm.
Probably no.
Yeah, horseradish, I would say.
Wasabi.
Oh, but yeah, real wasabi. Yeah, yeah. Oh, brutal. Yeah, there are things that you're just not supposed to eat large quantities of.
Yeah. I will say there's something uniquely unfortunate about eating something you like in this big a quantity.
Oh yeah, it kind of ruins it. You get sort of a bad reflex association with it.
Yeah, it's like that. I'm gonna make my kid smoke 50 cigarettes because I caught him smoking one cigarette. You know how people used to do that?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Version therapy kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, Claire says I'm never going to be able to eat ketchup again. I hope it's not quite that dire, but I do think I'm probably going to avoid it for a minute.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm going to take the straw out of the mix. It's just complicating things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened with me with alcohol when I was little. My dad and grandpa gave me beer in my little Care Bear cup, and I thought it was gross and didn't want to touch it for years. So I did that with Andrew. We didn't have a Care Bear cup, but when he was about 6, Care Beer, Care Bear beer.
You wanted him to not want beer?
Yeah, I just wanted him to like try it when he was little, so he got that same experience I did of playing like, oh, that's disgusting. Why do people drink that? Hey.
Oh my God, this is so much. Okay, I think I might be down to a third.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, you're making excellent progress. Okay. I need to really step it up. We've got to take care of the straw. Evening's checking out the Amigo.
Evening, you might need that.
Nah. Oh, thanks everybody. People are cheering me on. Okay. Here we go.
Fred, hey, Fred says, why not stretch the definition of ketchup to a fancier and more edible recipe? Oh, okay. Because that would be too easy, Fred. You okay over there? You okay?
It's hard to keep down.
I need to just take smaller bites and more. All right. All right, Blocher, let's do this. Person up.
Yeah, Drew pointed out that I could cut it with a bunch of water and make it like tomato soup.
That's what I was thinking. That would
yeah.
Mix some water in there.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Then there's more of it. And instead I can down it and then just keep drinking the water. It just seems like a quicker process and the same amount of water.
I think I need to blow my nose. Hold on, I'll be back.
Oh man.
Spilled water. Uh-oh.
So, who here's from Chicago? No one? Oh, okay. Mia Nicholson and Abigail's cousin and Emily. Okay, some people from Chicago. Oh, you're in Chicago right now. Damn. Oh, Takura. Oh my God. Oh, there's actually a lot of people from Chicago. They're currently in Chicago or I suppose. I've only been to Chicago, I think, one time when we did that live show.
Oh, really?
Welcome back. I think so. I mean, other than the airport.
Oh, right. You know what? That's probably true for me as well. I'm trying to think any other times I've been there. Had a great time in Chicago. Like the pizza.
I had a good time. I got a real bad, I don't know if you remember this. I got really sick when we were in Chicago when we were performing with John Hodgman.
Oh no.
I had like a fever of like 100 or so. I was like really trying to stay present and I was pretty lightheaded.
Oh, that's awful. Okay.
Oh,
You okay there?
Yeah. The amount of sodium would be bad over time if you had that much every day, but it's not the deadly amount, so Carrie should be fine. Yeah, I looked into this too. It's about twice the daily sodium you'd want. So yeah, you wouldn't want to do this all the time, but I sure won't be. I don't even want to do it twice.
Maddie asks, how do you guys find the time to do all the things you do? Plus, Carrie has to sleep like 10 hours, right? And you're involved in a lot besides the show. Yeah, just very busy.
I'll have you know, it's 9 hours, okay? 10, that's just crazy. Although the other night I slept for 11 hours, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I mean, it's hardest for Ross because you've got a very intense day job.
Yeah, I would say it's
my other thing I do, I at least have control over.
I have my day job and I have my night and weekend job, but there are times when the day job wants my night and weekends, and yeah, it gets tough. James Marion asks, have you considered just mixing a drop of mustard in a bottle of water so it's extra potent? Oh yeah, homeopathy rolls. That would be far better.
Sleep update, Josh asks. Okay. Yeah, so it turned out that my tonsils were not in the way of my sleeping, which my doctor had said that was the likely outcome. It was an experimental thing. I'll obviously get fewer throat infections now, so that's nice. But my sleep, it turns out, was on too high an amount of SSRI. And when I reduced that, I still take it, but when I reduced that to about a quarter of what I was taking, my sleep problems went away.
Amazing. That's so great.
Yeah. I mean, I still, like anybody, I still sometimes get insomnia or whatever, but it's nothing like it was before.
Oh, Sarah asked, can we see evening in Golly? Do you think you can get evening over here? Evening.
I can definitely show you Golly. Can I put you down for just a second, honey? Would that be okay? I'm so sorry.
Oh,
This
evening
must
will
be
not
so
be,
hard.
get ready, because evening will not be thrilled about this. I know. Oh no, she still got you. There we go. Look at that pretty kitty.
Oh, there's evening. Hi, buddy.
Yeah, check out the keyboard. Check out all the people. Yeah, hi. See, look, there's Mama. There's Charles. Oh yeah, you want to be out of here. Okay.
There's Golly. Isn't she beautiful?
No.
Hi, girl. Hi. Here, sweetie. This bed that she's sleeping in that's shaped like a crown, we actually got for Ella for the wedding. Our friend Beowulf walked her down the aisle in that crown.
Yeah.
And then we brought it. Yeah, and then we brought it home. And Golly was immediately like, "This is for me, and Ella will never get in it again."
I like that Beowulf walked down the aisle with utmost seriousness. This is the serious thing. This dog on this little plush pillow. It was very cute.
Yeah, he was the perfect person for that job.
Someone's asking, let's see, who was that? Randy asks, do pyramids help you resist the gag reflex? I may need that at this moment. Let me try. I'm going to grab a pyramid.
Oh my God. Okay, I think I probably only got like,
If it gets
what
worse,
is this?
it was caused by
Half a cup?
exactly.
Okay.
Something like that. Oh,
Okay.
is that helping?
Let's find out.
Okay. Did Ross officiate my wedding? No, Ross was a reader at my wedding.
Mm-hmm. The answer, Randy, is no. It's still disgusting. This is awful. I hate it.
Oh my God. What are you gonna use on fries after this, Carrie? Mayo, malt vinegar? Yeah, I feel like my association between fries and ketchup is so clean that I may not really want fries for a while either. But we'll see.
I got some extra fries from the Magic Castle. I won't give them to you.
You have extra fries from the Magic Castle?
Yeah.
When did you go to the Magic Castle?
On Wednesday, because my Drew turned 21.
Oh, lovely. Oh, happy birthday, Drew.
Yeah, good way to celebrate. That was fun. What was I going to say? Oh, Sue Trowbridge asks, have you watched the Teal Swan documentary on Hulu yet? The answer is yes, and look forward to our next episode.
Yeah, Jennings Brown, who's been on our podcast a couple times, was the development executive producer on that show.
And now he will have been on our podcast thrice. It's going to be great. So yeah, look forward to that. And there will be a whole other discussion about another cult he investigated recently.
Sorry, I was reading the chat. Can you say that again?
Oh, I was just saying that we have a whole separate conversation about another cult that Jennings has been investigating. So 2 for 1. Oh, this is
someone asked how I know Joan Ford because they saw that she was in our wedding. Joan is a close friend of Drew's and a friend of both of ours, and he has known her for a few years because they did comedy together at that Bright Citizens Brigade Theater. Yeah, she's great. She's so funny. She was the one, Ross, who she co-emceed the reception.
Oh, along with Drew's co-host for the podcast?
Kate. Yep.
Got it. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did
They're
great.
super funny.
Oh, Josh asks, do we still have our cursed dolls? I just have one of them, Lilith. You want to grab Lilith? There you go. Yeah, we've got all of our investigate. Yeah, the haunted dolls that we bought from eBay. It sleeps right next to me. It's like, or I don't know if it sleeps, but it's next to me when I sleep. It's always awake.
Okay. So
bad. Oh, okay. Thank you, Car. All right, so here is Lilith. So yep, she just I kind of forget she's there most of the time, but every now and then I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. I got a haunted doll like with my stuffed platypuses and other animals.
Yeah. I don't remember what the division of dolls was, but somehow I didn't end up with one. Oh, I left one in Boston to haunt Boston.
Yeah, like you gave people instructions to find it.
Yes. I don't think we heard from anyone who went there and actually picked her up.
Okay.
I think someone might have gone and she was already gone.
Allison asks, is there any investigation that you two would like to redo if you could? The first one that comes to my mind is the Sikhs, the Sikhs. Just, because we kind of went there once and then talked about it. And we later had a listener who gave us sort of a guided tour of a Gurdwara, and it was awesome. So it's one, just like it would be fun to do it again with more detail and background. It was like our 3rd episode.
Yeah. The one that comes to mind for me, I don't love the way I handled it, but I still, when I go back and I'm like, okay, how would you handle it differently? I still don't know that I'm equipped with the right answer. Is when Claire and I went to that
Living Stones Ministries.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we misbehaved there or anything like that, but it was one of those examples to me of like a thing that sort of gets your personal ire up to the point that like you're probably not being a subtle communicator or like actually helping walk people over who are ready to be walked over to your side. Because I have an immediate family member who's trans, and so it's like just a really personal thing. And I mean, I think there's totally space for being mad and for saying things that might seem extreme, but as far as like what I want our show to model and like help people get to is getting to that point of like walking someone over to your point of view, even when you feel offended and upset.
Yeah.
I don't think I quite got there.
Gotcha. That reminds me, another one that I've always said I'd like to redo is the Ordo Templi Orientis. Like, first of all, we reported and then tried to go back, and they'd heard it and they didn't like it and they kicked us out. And just like, again, we were still relatively new to our process. I think we would do it differently today. It was still a fun one. Oh, this is rough, Carrie. I'm having a hard time.
This sucks. What a stupid idea.
Yeah, awful idea, Carrie. Okay, so Sarah asks, I'm sure y'all will talk about the deep end on the podcast, as we have alluded to, but any brief hot takes? How's your burp? My burps are bad.
So I really enjoyed the deep end as a docuseries.
I just blowed on my mustard like that would do anything. I blew on.
Oh, you blew on it.
Like, what am I doing?
Remind me to tell you the story about Drew learning what blowing on things does. Anyway, deep end. So yeah, I really liked it as a docuseries. I thought it was really well made. I really appreciate the format it took. I really like when a docuseries starts out by being like, this thing is good. This is why people like the thing, and then drop that out from under you and start showing you the dark underbelly. Some people didn't like that. Some people felt like at the top it was too glamorizing, and if people didn't stick around, they wouldn't know that it was a critical review. I really just think, like, if the people that you want to reach are the people who would actually like this thing, you got to start out with what's good about it. So I really liked that. I thought it showed some really cool scenes of like people standing up to her that I wasn't used to seeing.
Yeah, that was cool.
And spoiler, but it shows like some pretty deep divisions that happen between her and her inner circle. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it on that level. She released some reaction videos where she accuses the producers of manipulating things in a pretty extreme way. Like, yeah, more than
like inventing stuff whole cloth, essentially.
Yeah, more than would be like the industry norm. Like, there is a norm we've all come to accept of like moving audio around a little bit within a scene, or shortening a scene to make it, more watchable, even if that loses a tiny bit of clarity. Those things are kind of normal. But this was like saying, I was having a conversation in one room on Tuesday, and they took the audio, spliced it up, and put it into a conversation on Thursday with a completely different person about a completely different thing. And if that's true, that's like really bad. And I'm curious to see how that lands.
Yeah, it's worth watching her reaction videos. I was very impressed. I mean, it's a very well filmed documentary. It's beautiful. Teal admits as much. I was also impressed that they just happened to be there at that moment that her relationship, sorry, spoiler alert, giving you enough time to plug your ears if you want to, that her relationship with Blake finally dissolves during the course of the time they were there and filming, which is, I just think kind of impressive that a documentary crew just happened to be there to catch that.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they'd been, together, not as a relationship, but like as sort of business partners for like 18 years.
Yeah, and friends and ex-lovers.
Yep. Okay. Ethan asked, hey Ethan, were any of the treatments / activities, etc., you've experienced for episodes of the podcast as bad as this right now? I guess I better take another bite. So bad. Oh,
50%.
Yeah, I'd say I'm almost halfway. Yeah.
Well,
it should be like 8 ounces though, because that's 16, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ross, I vomited.
Oh, you did? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
And you know when?
Oh, I feel like
bullshit. Look at this bullshit.
Oh wow, you ate it. You ate it. Oh, just a tiny bit, like 2 spoonfuls left, maybe. Oh, this is so brutal.
I'm calling it.
Okay.
God, that was horrible.
I felt the urge a couple times, like welling up, like, okay, let's take a break. So has anything we've done been worse than this? I mean, the effects of oh wow, look at this. We've got what is that reaction? It's like a little trumpets.
Celebration.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh.
That means I better keep going. Being on ayahuasca, there's certainly, pain and misery that rivaled this.
Oh yeah, that is ayahuasca as bad as mustard.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a little worse. Just in terms of like the feelings of disgust and revolting and like
Oh
wanting
yeah,
to.
thinking you're gonna die.
Everybody else was vomiting. I wanted to vomit and I couldn't. Oh, this is bad. The pain of the fire walking once that set in, that was bad.
Yeah, fire walking.
Drink your own pee.
Yeah, drinking. Oh yeah, drinking urine every day. That was
would be
awful.
worse than most.
Yeah, talk
Don't
about
like that.
yeah, drinking my own pee every morning, fresh off the tap. That was, well, not quite off the tap, but you get what I'm.
That takes bending a certain way that you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
bend.
I wasn't quite that impressive.
Oh my God.
Oh, Carrie, how you doing?
I'm okay.
I feel like I'm getting close to the point where I want to vomit, but feeling like I need to make myself do that.
I think if you want to be, I think we were off the hook if one of us vomited, but
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'll at least get to where we can all agree that I've hit 8 ounces.
okay, yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
close.
I mean, mine was 17, and I think I had to at least have gotten to 16.
So gross.
Oh my God. I'm gonna have a mint.
Oh, so gross.
It's so gross.
My tongue is like feels pickled, like it's stinging.
Yeah.
Like my tongue actually hurts.
My stomach feels the way it feels if you like drink an overabundance of like water or soup or something.
Yeah.
But slightly more viscous.
Okay, I've been sticking up near the early questions, so I just randomly scrolled down. Mary asks, this is fun. Are you watching any good shows right now? Not a show, but last night I just finally watched The Men Who Stare at Goats for the first time.
Oh wow.
I'd read the book and figured, okay, now time to watch the movie.
The movie's really different. What'd you think?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the movie's silly and it kind of borrows some of the themes and pulls them together into a narrative thread. Evening is like, what is this? She is really curious about the Amigo. I mean, it was enjoyable and it's a fun cast, so I guess I was into it. But yeah, book is much better. Good job.
Yeah.
I was quite impressed with the book. Like, it covers a lot of ground that we read about in other contexts, like the whole MK Ultra experiments and
Yep.
some of the, of course, the military experiments with remote viewing and stuff. And yeah, he does a really, really good job.
Drew and I have been watching Hacks.
Oh, what's that?
It's that HBO scripted series about a older female stand-up who is sort of a mainstay in Las Vegas, and she hires this younger female writer in like her late 20s to punch up her material. And so then it becomes about sort of the differences between their generational approaches, and they get into little quibbles with each other, and it's really well written. It's really fun.
Cool. That sounds great. I mean, right now, Drew and we just worked our way through the Obi-Wan show. Of course, like we watch The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. We keep up with all the Star Wars shows.
Of course.
We recently finished watching all of Dexter because Andrew was old enough for that, so we worked our way through.
I've never seen a minute of Dexter.
Oh, okay. It was one like we avoided for a long time. We had a lot of friends around us saying like it's really good. And I was like, I don't want to watch a show about a serial killer, but you know, it is really well written. It's very compelling. So once we started watching it, we got hooked, and then they came out with a new series, so we watched the new one. Now we're all caught up.
There's a new one?
Yeah, Dexter New Blood.
Yeah. I have friends who named their kid Dexter in the wake of that show.
That's strange. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay.
Strange.
He named his dog after Dexter. All right.
Fictional serial killer.
I mean, okay, so ordinarily, I'm like, absolutely. There's no division between being the parent of a dog or cat and the parent of a human child. But in this case, I think there is, because the human Dexter is going to grow up and be like, hey, why am I named Dexter? And then the parent has to be like, there was a very popular TV show about
Dexter's
a serial
Laboratory.
killer.
There is an animated series called Dexter's Laboratory, so you've got
Oh, okay.
Or like, we noticed that you were right-handed.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
thinking,
you're
yeah.
dexterous, you know, not sinister. Okay, not a question from Randy, but I wonder what this is going to do to Carrie's poop calendar.
Oh God. Who even knows? I did poop earlier today, so we'll see what happens later. But
Oh, here's a good question from Claire. Hello, from a fellow journalist. What issues do you see with the reporting on fringe science, spirituality, and cults from the mainstream news outlets? What issues do you see? That's fun.
what issues do you see, Ross?
Oh, trying to think if I can think of like consistent ones. I mean, it seems like when mainstream news talks about Nexium or, you know, I don't, Teal Swan or whatever, like, you know, they will go for the quick takeaways, and so like I think it'll come across just a little more salacious, in, if that's even the right word, just like, you know, making it sound a little more grand and extraordinary, because that's the quick things that you can drop on people. Now, of course, there are plenty of mainstream news sources that will go in more depth and have like a long form article that really does give a lot of nuance. But one thing I like that we can do is just kind of talk ad nauseum and sort of hit all aspects, including some of the good stuff and, you know, why the group was so compelling to begin with. But I don't know, that was the first thought that came to mind, is that, you know, it's a little surface level and they only have time for those things that are really salient.
Yeah, agree. Also, a lot of journalists only have the time and bandwidth to read like
Yeah.
the news release from the group,
Right.
and then maybe one bit of criticism on the other side, if that, you know. And then you get into issues of false balance and how long that reporter,
Yes.
like how much time does that reporter have to figure out which of these perspectives has more evidence behind it. But I don't usually blame the reporter for that. Usually I picture someone sitting in a newsroom having to turn out 4 stories that day, and this is what their editor gave them. And that's such a weird, thorny problem.
That's a good point about the false balance. I was thinking of that early on too, when I was reading the question. Like, oftentimes they'll be like, well, the church issued this comment, you know, Scientology says this, so there you go. Those are the two options. But then you don't get into the history of like, you know, like the fair game policy, or how Scientology has behaved in other situations, you know. So yeah, kind of a little like it's balanced when it's not.
Yeah, and I would prefer that than the other option, because sometimes you see this other thing that's more popular now, where it's just totally okay to only talk to one side of a conversation. You can make a whole documentary where you only talk to the survivors of a cult, or you only talk to the victims of a perpetrator. And even those words, I'm making assumptions, you know? And I think everyone deserves a chance to speak back to any sort of accusation against them, and more than just like sending them one email and then being like they didn't respond. I think more effort should be made than that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, all right. I don't know if this counts, but I think at this point I've safely eaten half of the jar.
Oh yeah, good job.
8 ounces of mustard. Yeah, you concur?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Agree.
Okay.
Agree.
More mustard than normal people would eat in one sitting.
All right.
That cuts the mustard for me.
Car's giving me the cap. Well, I'll keep it here just in case.
I was like, don't waste that.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
8 more ounces of mustard.
By the way. Okay, let's see here.
Oh,
Dylan asked Ross, have you watched Arcane? It has beautiful animation that I think you would appreciate. It's gorgeous. Yeah, I've only watched like 3 episodes, and it's amazing. Yeah, I can't wait to go back and watch more. Really, really impressive for TV. Highly recommend Arcane.
Arcane. Oh, okay. Do you think I'd like it?
Yeah. I think now I'm trying to run like a few Carrie passes on it, but yeah, at least give it a shot. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Watching. Cara, are there any other series we've been watching?
You've been watching Dark.
Oh, Dark. Yeah, I mentioned that on the show. That's a German show on Netflix. That's it's like kind of like Stranger Things. Oh yeah, we've been watching Stranger Things, but it's like this time travel mystery set in Germany with like units of 33 years, and so people's old school chums like show up all of a sudden as their teenage selves. Sometimes they're dead. It's really like bizarre.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
This is Arcane.
Oh no, sorry, that was Dark. That was
Dark. Okay. Ross and I, or you're Ross, Drew and I just saw Men last night.
You saw what now?
Men, the A24 horror movie Men.
Oh, I don't know anything about it. Good.
Oh, okay. I thought it was really cool. I liked it a lot. A lot of people did not like it. It's like, it takes wild big swings. So it's definitely like you're going to be into it or you're not. It's not a very middle of the road movie, but I really enjoyed it.
Man, burping after eating that much mustard, not a good thing.
Yeah, I believe it.
All right. Yeah, if a horror film has like 95% or more on Rotten Tomatoes, I'll be into it. I'll be like, okay, cool. I want to see it, because that tells me like it has some broader message, or like it's artfully done, whatever it is. It can have like good cinematography. As long as there's one thing that I can really latch onto and be like, ooh, yeah, they did that well, then I'm into it.
Got it. But the horror aspect itself probably won't
That's
be
more a turnoff for me. Like generally, if it's just horror, I'll be like, meh. But then when I hear good horror, I'll be like, okay, let's watch that.
okay. Yeah, I mean this.
I'm saying this next to Charles, who is
I love
a horror connoisseur,
Yeah.
all horror.
Well, this one definitely has some artistry. Did Charles see Men?
I have not yet, but I want to check it out.
Okay, yeah.
You
Tell
can
me if
live.
you like it. I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Let's see. A few people have asked. I don't know if you want to say anything about your Rhythmia article.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Boy, I was just telling someone that whole story. Yeah. So the short version of the story is I worked with Vice on that article for like over a year. And Vice had a lot of internal turmoil during that period, and my editor quit during that period, and it was just taking forever for it to go up. And so finally I said, like, give this back to me. I know I like sort of demanded a kill fee and gave them an end date. And so I still have all of the reporting. I don't know if I'll do anything with it or not. I was kind of at that point when you've spent that much time going back and forth, and Jerry trying to insert himself in the process the entire time and calling the editor and telling them that I was crazy. And so it was just, I didn't feel like returning to it when all of that was over. So I still just have it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the story. Yeah.
Good story. All right, this is a fun one. Which souvenir from one of your investigations is your favorite? Yeah, we surround ourselves with so much stuff, and then we try to give it away at like live shows and stuff. I've just got stacks of stuff I'm waiting to give away. Um, ah,
It's got to be the tincture.
oh yeah, yeah. I still got my tincture. You know, I gotta say, I was more excited than I should have been about this Pyridine amulet. Like that was pretty fantastic.
I wish that my finger hadn't picked a yellow stone on mine
Oh yeah.
because it doesn't pop like yours.
Oh, now I've blurred myself. Hold on, I'm out of focus.
Uh-oh,
Carrie show. Okay, now we're back.
back.
So I don't know if I thought about it, I'd probably have different answers on different days, but yeah, just certainly it is fun collecting these souvenirs and kind of badges of our various investigations.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but if I put them all together, I feel like there's like a power corner, like there, like almost like there's a magical force coming out of that shelf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know that there's not. I know that it's just my
Yeah.
brain, but
But
yeah.
that's fun. You know what? This has to be another one. Is the Bob Larson?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's a good one. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, it's fun to have them around because then, like, when people come to visit, like people who know the show, I can be like, "Oh, check this out, and this is from this, and oh, remember this?" You know, that's pretty fun. Okay, well, we made it an hour. You got to the vomiting part. I got halfway through a 16-ounce jar of Grey Poupon. So
Nice. How
hopefully,
many times have we vomited on this show?
well, it's a good question. Certainly.
Blowfish.
Oh yeah, I definitely vomited on your floor then.
Yep.
That might be because I didn't on ayahuasca. I wanted to. I
Oh,
felt
you
like
didn't at all?
I didn't. No, and like there are times I really wanted to. So maybe once.
I think the master cleanse made me vomit.
Oh yeah! Wow. Okay. Also early on in our investigations.
Yeah. That might be it. Okay. Third
Okay.
vomit's a charm.
Okay. All right. Maybe we take a couple more questions. You want to pick out one? I'll pick out one.
Okay, sure. Is it when I'm looking at the Q&A thing? I've
Yeah,
just been
we're-
ignoring you. Whoops. Okay.
I'm trying to mark the ones that we've answered as answered. This doesn't count, but just as a small follow-up, Faith asks, I want to ask what school in Canada Carrie was thinking of going to.
York and McGill.
Okay. I remember I was really tempted to sign up for Tulane University. And then I remember reading an online review where someone was talking about all of the cockroaches in the dorms and how they descend from the ceiling at night. And I was like, no, thanks.
Oh, wow. I've lived in a few places with cockroach problems. Boy, those fuckers multiply fast. Okay, so someone asked, an anonymous attendee asked, what do you think makes someone more likely to hold alternative beliefs? I like this question because it has an answer. Yeah, so superstitious belief increases when you have less power. The lower power threshold you are in a society, the more likely you are to have superstitious beliefs. That's true across the human spectrum, and it's true for animals too. So even animals in studies, the less power and agency they have, the more likely they are to associate stepping on this button with getting a reward. So superstition is a response to feeling like you don't have power in this world. And that's probably why, like, there are more women believers, depending on like what part of the country you're in and what faith you're looking at. You might have more people of color, etc. Like, it's usually a response to, like, you don't feel like you have much power in this world. What can you do about it? Maybe there's a secret energy you can harness that will change all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I might have phrased that in terms of control, but I like that you went to power because, that's what it is. Like in situations where the outcomes are uncertain, that's where we'll input our false certainty because we want certainty, so it's like, I remember hearing about this, and I'm not sure how reliable this is, but like the anecdote that deep sea fishers who went farther out into the water and could have like a day where they caught nothing, were more superstitious and had more amulets and other protections and stuff like that than the people who kept closer and had less chances of their boat wrecking or like not catching anything. Same thing with sports, like you have the, there's so many contingencies and like hitting a home run, so you get people who get lucky shirts or, like I've got to spit and do this, before I hit the ball. So yeah, I like that approach. Power. Yeah. Okay. I'll ask another question from our friend Jaron. He says, when picking projects to work on, what factors are the most important? Cost, out there-ness, popularity, convenience, danger to society? Yeah, I can hop onto that one. Or
Sure.
I'd say for me, it's kind of like reading books, like, because if you ask me, I could name off the top of my head like 24 books easily that I'm dying to read. But oftentimes it's just like, well, I finished the book, which one happens to be laying nearest me or just came up in a conversation yesterday. I feel like it's that with our podcast, because we have so many things we want to do all the time. Sometimes it's just a matter of like, oh, there's a discount for this thing, or, oh, hey, so-and-so is coming to Burbank, I guess we better go. So a lot of it is just kind of happenstance and contingency. But I will say one thing that we do frequently, because we have like usually 4 or 5 investigations going on sort of in various stages at a time. One of the considerations is just, have we done something similar recently? So if we just did a UFO conference, unless it's the summer of UFOs, maybe it's like, well, maybe it's time to go like visit a spiritualist or chase Bigfoot or something like that, just to kind of mix it up. We like variety too.
Yeah, agree with all of the above. And I would say the invisible but driving force is just our interest. If one of us is really jazzed about something, the other will be like, oh, okay, sure. Well, then let's do that.
We have our long list, and like at the top, there's a Carrie wish list and there's a Ross wish list.
Yeah, and I think that's probably part of the secret to like maintaining something for a long time, because your enthusiasm is a resource. So if one of us is enthusiastic, we just sort of go like, great, let's let that be the driver.
Yeah.
But that said, if it's like, I would really love to do this thing that's just like something we did 6 months ago, maybe we'll say, well, let's do it in a year.
That's another one of those things that I'll be excited about when like I'm really, excited to go do something to the point where like I want to do it whether there's a podcast or not, and that'll happen. Like recently my mom invited me to here we go, someone was asking about maybe hints of future investigations, and I don't know if this will even show up for the podcast. Maybe let me know if you're excited about this, but my mom invited me to this Messianic Jewish talk at her church, and my first reaction was like, well, I know a fair amount about the talking points in Isaiah 53 and all that. I'll probably skip, Mom. And like after the conversation, I thought like, oh well, it borders on the podcast, and it would be kind of fun if an investigation was started by my mom. And so I went, and it was one of those things where like, I don't know if I'll even do a podcast about this, but I feel like I'm in investigation mode at this conference on Messianic Judaism. Again, quote unquote, I need the scare quotes every time I say that. Anyways, that was exciting for me, because it was like, oh, this is strange. Like I'm taking pictures and I'm taking notes, and I'm 2 rows behind my 3 members of my family, and there's another one back there. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I hope you talk about it at least a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Wow.
went to one Messianic Jewish event on a Princess cruise like 4 or 5 years ago. And they just have a chapel where different people can go in, and if someone on the boat has that faith tradition, there will be a service for that faith tradition if they want to come and volunteer. So you just get these sort of scrappy individuals being like, sure, I'll be a rabbi today. So there was a guy, the rabbi today, for like a Messianic Jewish service. And it was interesting. It really struck me as sweet, because I don't know, it was like he really wanted to be Jewish and he really wanted to be Christian. And I was like, oh, you're really trying to make both of these things work. I don't know, something about that feels really pro-social and sweet. But then there was also a couple of just Jewish women there who were not happy about the situation and making it known.
Yeah, this dynamic is played out in my family because I have sort of a contingent of each. And as Fred pointed out in the chat, it's considered fringe by both Jews and Christians. I was trying to point this out to my mom, like saying, oh, there's some history to these ideas, Mom, that's actually a little controversial. And she said, well, I just want you to know that every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is the Lord. I was like, yes, I know. Thank you, Mom. All right. I just wanted you to know what I believe. I'm like, yeah, I'm one of the world's best experts on what you believe, Mom.
So I just see this one other question that I'm interested to answer, but from Nia Ruth. Excuse me if I'm not saying your name right, Nia. It says, I work as a bookseller, and quite often I end up in the situation where someone asks my opinion on books, on get rich quick scheme type things or problematic self-help gurus. I'm obviously not allowed to speak ill of our literature or authors, but I also want to scream, please do not do it. How does one navigate the situation? Any tips? Do I just throw factfulness at them?
Oh, wow. No, I'm sorry. Was this person saying that they work for one of these companies?
It says, I work as a bookseller.
Okay.
So they said they're obviously not allowed to speak ill of literature or authors. That's not obvious to me. So first, I just want to make sure it really is obvious to you. Make sure someone's actually said that to you, and that's not an assumption you've made. But if your boss has told you not to do it, I would just say that. I would be like, oh, I'm actually not allowed to speak critically about these books. I would get the message just from that. I'd be like, okay, either this means they didn't like the book, or they're, at the very least, I'm never going to get a straight answer out of this. But I think that's a weird rule.
Yeah, interesting. That's good advice. I feel like we've run into this situation before where we found people, even within groups that we're investigating, that like our show. This kind of came up recently. What actually you'll hear in the interview with Jennings Brown. Yeah, that's strange. So wait, they had given her they'd given this person that injunction, like do not speak ill, or is it just assumed?
I'm not sure. From the way it's written, it
Okay.
says, I'm obviously not allowed to speak ill of our literature or authors.
Yeah, working at the publishing house. Yeah.
And a few people are saying in the chat here, I'm scanning, but it looks like they're saying, no, that's common. You're not supposed to make anybody feel judged for their reading choices. Fair. But I don't know. Would you're allowed to say you liked something?
Yeah, I suppose it depends on the forum. Like you can tell friends, obviously, but do you make a social media post about it, or do you anonymize it in some way? I feel like there might be ways to share your opinion with the right audience at the right time. I was
if someone's asking you, that seems like
that's
the moment.
Well, then you get your real opinion. I was talking with Heather, who works at Skylight Books, and she was saying she has to fight that urge to kind of judge people sometimes when they buy certain books. Like she's had people order a parcel of white supremacy books, and it doesn't look like they're doing it for research, like as a journalist or something.
Can't know though.
Yeah, you can't know. It's like, well, here's your books.
Yeah, I mean, I always think I don't actually have a problem with anyone buying pretty much any book, because I do think that the best thing fringe thinkers do is actually take their thoughts and put them into the public sphere and say engage with this.
Yeah.
Because then if we have the guts to actually engage with it, then we have some chance of taking down bad ideas. So I think that's kind of the best thing they do. So I really don't have any problem with anyone buying anyone's book, as long as you're then really willing to criticize it if that's what it deserves.
Yeah.
That's a sticky spot if you're a bookseller, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe at some point you find yourself in a slightly different publishing house or whatever, because you just realize it's hard for me to work for people where I can't get behind the product. But you know, I get it. Sometimes a job is a job. So yeah, I don't feel like there's any hard and fast rules here. Like it would change from book to book and publisher to publisher and situation to situation. That's interesting.
Yeah. But I think I'd be like, actually not allowed to criticize books. I think if I heard that from bookseller, I'd be like, oh, you did not like it.
Okay, we've got a suggestion and somebody promoting it here. Therese says, maybe say something like, I would really do my research and read their Wikipedia page first, if there is a controversy section there about the author. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of neutral.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I think we've gone past our hour, and I feel semi-accomplished on my Grey Poupon eating, but
Yeah.
I'm not eager to join you in throwing up.
Yeah. I think I'll spend a little time in the bathroom now. One of my favorite rooms in the house.
Well, thank you to everybody for coming out today. Super fun to have you. Thank you for supporting us by listening, by becoming Max Fun members. Really appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, and we'll be back with a banjo song soon.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll announce that. I don't know if we already kind of gave a timeline for that, but we'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yay. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.